Today we are going to make 2 loaves of sourdough bread. I've measured out 3 cups of white and 3 cups of whole wheat flour into the bowl here. I'm going to throw in a heaping tablespoon of salt. Stir it all up. I measured out a cup of my whole wheat and white sourdough starter. It's bubbling away here, so I'm going to pour that in the middle. Pretty sticky stuff. There it goes. You don't have to have exact measurements. There's that. 2 cups of tap water, room temperature. That's it. That's all the ingredients. Don't forget to feed your old sourdough buddy here. I measured out a half a cup of whole wheat and a half a cup of white flour. I'm just going to zoom it into my jar. And about a half cup of water. Close enough. Stir it up. After a while, this stuff starts to smell really nice. If you put too much water into your sourdough starter and leave it in the fridge, it'll form a kind of a grayish layer of water on top. And that grayish layer is called hooch. That's where the word hooch came from. Sourdough. Good enough. That's all you need. That's all you need. There we go. When you put the lid on, you can leave it loose because the yeast is forming carbon dioxide and it needs to escape. I can go back in the fridge. All I'm going to do is mix this up with a spoon. I'm going to keep stirring until all of the water is incorporated and it forms a big ball. That's what it looks like now. So I'm going to keep stirring. I'm going to turn this off because it's kind of boring watching me stir for 5 minutes. I'll be back in a minute. 3.5 minutes later, so stirring it up with a spoon, and that's what it looks like now. Just a big ball. You can get your hands into it if you want. Don't have to though, just keep stirring. Now all you do is cover it with a sheet of plastic and walk away for the next 12 to 14 hours. We'll be back when this is risen to show you what to do then. Good morning, folks. We're back to our sourdough bread adventure. It's been about 12.5 hours since last night. Here we are next day. Let's have a look at. I just left this standing out on the countertop all night long. That's what it looks like now. It's about doubled in bulk. One great advantage of doing this is you don't have to knead it. It kneads itself. Now you can either cut it in half in the bowl to put it into your bread pans, or you can roll it out onto a floured board. I'm going to roll it out first. I got my one bread pan greased up already. I'll grease up this guy. You can use butter or margarine or bacon grease, cooking oil, doesn't matter. I'm using margarine here. As long as you get your pan greased up. Here we go. We are in business. Normally I just cut this dough in half right in the bowl and throw it in, but today we'll have a look at it here. I'm going to sprinkle a little flour on my board, smear it around, and flour my hands too. This dough is sticky, big time sticky. Oh, there's a crow outside watching. Maybe he thinks he's going to get a treat. Here we go. Roll it out. There's your dough. There we go. All I'm going to do is cut this in half and put it into the pans. Make one little roll like that, and it goes here goes the other one. I always make sure that my seam side is down in the pan. We're done again for the next 12 hours. All I'm going to do is cover it up with my plastic and let it stand on the counter for another 12 hours, and then we can bake it. See you later. Howdy folks, it's now evening time. The sun's going down. Bread's been rising all day long under my chunk of plastic. That's what it looks like now. So I've preheated my oven to 450 degrees. I'm going to pop it in. Oh, it's hot. Hot. There we go. I'm going to let it sit in there for about 15-20 minutes at 450 degrees, and then turn it down to 375 for the remainder of the hour. Takes me about an hour to bake this bread. Normally I make it inside a stove or a countertop little oven, but I had to loan that out to somebody. So I'm going to do it in the big one. If you're doing it in one of those little countertop ovens, after a while the top starts, because there's not much space in there, the top starts to turn really brown and burn. So what I do to avoid that is after 15 minutes I'll put on a tent of aluminum foil over it, and it keeps it from burning. Anyway, we will be back in an hour and I'll show you what comes out of the oven. I just popped them out of the oven. Hot. They're very hot. There's one. There's two. Nice looking bread. Let's cut it open and see what it looks like inside. There you go. Sourdough bread from starter to finish. If you toast a slice of this stuff, you might have to run it through 2 cycles on the toaster. Toasted, it's great. Like this, it's great too. It's so good that if you put a piece on top of your head, your tongue will slap your brains out trying to get at it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed baking sourdough bread. See you next time.